Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ashanti Dampier in the Research 2 class with Dr. Lee. My research today, my research proposal is on Catholic Charities Therapeutic Foster Care. So, Catholic Charities is a nonprofit organization that has been open for many years across the USA. It is a great big agency that serves the community that it's in. This agency holds many programs from unaccompanied refugee minor foster care programs to homes for people. I'm getting nervous. Sorry, guys. I just don't do the video thing well. What am I trying to say? Like group homes, foster homes, lawyers for people who are from other countries, therapy. I mean, just a wide variety of things to support people in the community. There were many more programs like assisted living programs and like emergency assistance to help with utilities, but funding got cut for those programs, so they could not no longer be anyway. Catholic Charities is a great agency to work for and to be a part of if you would like to, and that was one of the reasons that I chose this agency. The purpose for this evaluation, when I got a chance to do my internship at Catholic Charities, I learned in the therapeutic foster care program, I learned a lot about the program itself and a lot about the agency. And when I did my evaluation ready project for this class, I saw a lot of things, and the way that success is evaluated here is not really measurable. The things that the way that they use things, like they use the CAFIS, if you guys ever heard of that, they use that to try to see let me calm down. Sorry. They use that to try to measure outcomes of the kids over time. But the kids are therapeutic, so sometimes it takes a while, to evaluate those things. And also the term of placement, like how long the placement is, or if the placement doesn't work, that would probably count against the child. And that's just not really a good way to determine. Now, there are behavior charts that they use, and those are good. But as far as the foster parents too, they need to be evaluated. And there's really no evaluation for them. They do get to evaluate the program at the end of each year, but it's just like, what do you want to change? Like a few questions about that. And so I decided that I wanted to do more to evaluate the parents and the children. And I wanted to do it in a way that it would actually benefit the children. So that's the purpose for the evaluation. The purpose for this proposal. So the evaluation design, I am using a pre-test, post-test design, and it's going to involve 10 children and 10 parents. And they're gonna work together. So it'll be single parent homes. Single children homes. It could be a mother and a father, or just a mother, which is normally what we have. So just to let you guys know, the inputs of this will be my staff, my parents, and my resources. And then the activities will be family therapy, quality time, and home study and parenting classes. The outputs will be the amount of time families spend together, participation in the therapy, and days away from home. The short-term goals will be connect the youth and the parent together. That's the main thing, you guys. In foster care, if your parent and the child is not working together, if they're not doing well, you probably won't have a placement long if they can't get on one page. And then parental stability and self-worth of the youth and of the family in general. The long-term goals is reunification, of course, with the family. That's the long-term goal for every foster child in the world. And then support from the families, and then not returning into foster care. Now, the deal is with foster care, each one of the children in this program have to have an SED ruling, which means seriously emotionally disturbed. So keep that in mind as we talk about this. So the sample, I told you guys the sample, 10 and 10. And so how this would work is each parent, there will be an announcement posted in the agency about this proposal, and each parent will decide if them and the child would like to be a part of it. If they make it to the end of this evaluation process, they will get a gift card for both of them for $50. So anyway, so what will happen is there will be a announcement made. Since the parents are already here, we don't have to like use any type of YouTube or Facebook or anything, because the people are already in the organization. So that's one less thing that we have to do. Then they will come to a meeting, and the meeting would be a forum kind of thing, and I would just kind of let them get to know me and ask them questions like what they like about Catholic Charities and what they would like to see better, and that there be different surveys. And if we have time later on, I will maybe read you some of the questions on the surveys for each participant. And each family will be able to pick an activity that they want to be involved in. It's mainly for the child to be involved in, like maybe a sport or gymnastics or cooking classes or anything like that, that they can be involved in. And so once they pick a sport or some extracurricular activity in the community, something in the community, and the parent will be, involved, go to the practices, stay with them, and we will be in contact with the coaches. We will already have that in place. That's why there's a list of things that you can choose from, so that we can already have the communication. So then once that happens, each week, each child and each parent will have a separate log that they tell how their week was. Like, did they go to the extracurricular activity? How was things at the house? Was it good, bad? So it'll be like red, green, yellow, type of thing. And then if that works, they'll turn it in every week to the specialists at Catholic Charities. Now, the specialists will play this role in this event. They will retrieve data and give it to the researcher. Also, the specialists will do their normal job and go see the families monthly. This will be a 6-month process. Go see the families monthly and report back to the researcher what their views of how the household is. The researcher will also have information about how the household is based off the data from the daily logs from each parent. Okay, so if the activity doesn't work out, they will also have another. After 2 weeks, if it doesn't work out, they'll have another chance to pick another activity. So, because sometimes things just don't work out. So that's to keep the activity going and to keep the family involved in the evaluation, to give them that opportunity. So how it will go is, if every week that the family has a successful week, which means the child and the parent have at least, it's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, at least a 4 or above, then they would get 3 points. So at the end, you will see how your points are. And so what I did is, you guys can't see this, but I'm going to try to show you a little chart based off like a series, based if this was to happen. This is kind of how it would look. Of parents who like had 3s and 2s, families who had 3s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, whatever. Just kind of how it would look and how it would be measured, where we're going to be using. All the participants, will be grading themselves pretty much. And so overall, over the weeks, you will be able to get up to 24 points. And if you get at least 12 points, then we will rate that as successful. At least half, because every day is not a good day and every week is not a good week, so we don't expect it. But again, the goal is to have a better dynamic for the family. So that's what we're gonna do with that. So each time that we get a log, we're gonna put the data in Excel, which that's what that chart that I just showed you, some from Excel, and it showed, there was just a printed out chart, but it showed kind of what it would look like for each week for each family. So a timeline. I've told you guys the evaluation design. I told you the sample. I told you how we're going to measure it and how we're going to collect the data. I told you that because we're going to get it from the foster family and we're going to get it from the therapist. So we will also have our own chart of how they're doing based off the specialist and therapist views. So, and I showed you how we're going to analyze with the 24 points, and at least 12 points will mean success. So plans to sharing this, you guys, would be, once this evaluation is done, I will share this research with the program director. all the therapists and the specialists all in one meeting, showing them what we found and if the intervention, which is the activity and the participation of the parent in the activity with the child, if it's helpful for the family dynamic. Now, I hypothesize that it will be, because children need activities and parents need to be involved, and the children need to feel that they're involved in order to be more, or to show, because I'm not going to say be, to show the appreciation to the parent. Because foster children just want to feel safe, and they want to feel at home, and they want to feel cared for. And if you don't care about what they're doing, then they're not going to care about what they're doing. And that's just the reality of it, you guys. So, my timeline. So, we will start this in May. In May, there will be an announcement will be made for the families to participate. And then in June will be the meeting. So that's when the surveys will be done, and we would do personal interviews during this meeting so that they can tell you and tell the researchers, you know, this is what I like, this is what I see, this is what I need to be a better foster parent, or to make placements last longer for the parent and for the child and for the specialist. It's very important to get every view in this situation, because we need everybody's input, because we're going to use everybody's input for the output. Okay, so that's in June. In July, activities will start, and the daily, weekly, and monthly logs will start. Daily, remember you guys, daily logs for the families, weekly logs for the therapists, and monthly logs for the specialists. Okay, and then in August, the parents will continue the activities, and if there needs to be an activity change, this is the deadline to do it. So they've had from June to August, 2 months, like I told you, 2 months to change the activity if it's not working. Okay. In September, it will be a check-in with the research group and a discussion for the parents and the youth. So we will come back together, everybody, in September, a few months in, you know, come back in September and then see how everything's going. And once we do that, we will evaluate like a midterm evaluation, see how everything's going, if there needs to be any changes, if anybody needs to drop, if anybody's not participating fully, if there needs to be something different, you know, those type of things. And then in October, the youth will have a meeting only. Just the youth will come in and meet with the researchers and just kind of vent, letting us know how things are going, if anything is getting falsified or anything like that. And then that's in October. And then in November, it will be an ending survey and interviews. So we will redo the surveys that we started with, and I'm gonna tell you guys some of the questions from the surveys. I know y'all want to know. So we'll redo the surveys and the interviews. It will be the same questions at the end, just as there were at the beginning, to see if the intervention did help or not with the family dynamics and the behavior of the child, to essentially make the placement last longer. And then in December, the data will be given to the organization for possible changes to be made. So once we meet in November, we will do that. And then the rest of November will be used to analyze the data and to get everything together, get the presentation together for December for the big presentation to the agency. So our budget. So the researcher, me, I would need to be paid, of course. So that will be a part of the budget. And then you'll have... so it'll be $5,000 for me, $5,000 for another researcher, and then we'll have 2 social workers, and they'll get paid $2,500, and then together, and then we'll have researcher 3 would be a part-time student, and they'll get paid $1,500. Equipment will be about $550. That's just for like paper and ink and materials and stuff for the kids when they're there, like games and things like that. Refreshments will be $500 because we will have multiple meetings. We have a meeting in June, which will last for a few hours. We'll have another meeting in August, in September, and then October, and then November. So we have to have snacks for those things, and also we will be providing snacks for the the activity groups, we'll be providing like Gatorades and stuff for the sports groups for them, doing that and providing us with feedback on the students and parents that come to do our program. Other expenses, and this is just anything like